Welcome, and thank you for tuning in. If you enjoy this video, we invite those of you who haven't yet done so, to like, comment, share, subscribe, and click the notification icon, to be notified when the next one is uploaded. We appreciate all comments, whether positive or negative, because it is very important to ventilate both sides of any issue. All we ask is that you observe the YouTube community guidelines. Our regular visitors will be aware that we have produced several videos, showing that Sky Sports are biased against Sir Lewis, and since Abu Dhabi 2021, we have sadly come to the realization that so are Toto Wolff and Mercedes-AMG F1. It is a matter of public record that Toto and Mercedes have been moving mad since Sir Lewis announced that he was going to Ferrari. We were therefore not surprised to find that Toto and Sky have been tag teaming against Sir Lewis, as we showed in our previous video detailing how they coordinated their attack on him at the Hungarian GP. Those who saw that video will recall how they launched separate but coordinated attacks, starting with an interview in which Mercedes trackside engineering director, Andrew Shovlin, criticized Sir Lewis's driving skills, which was published on the eve of the GP weekend. On the following day, which was qualifying Saturday, Martin Brundle expressed his concern about Sir Lewis's loss of confidence. Martin's comments were particularly damning given that they were made in the wake of Sir Lewis's victory at the previous Grand Prix at Silverstone. With his customary mendacity, Martin was damning Sir Lewis with faint praise, by using his moment of glory to birth the false premise that his loss of confidence had been responsible for his failure to win since Abu Dhabi, rather than the tractor that Mercedes gave him. This outrageous attempt to launder the Mercedes car at Sir Lewis's expense is a clear sign that Martin was working hand in glove with Toto and Mercedes. We have also shown in other videos how Toto Wolff is using well-known anti-Lewis media channels to sell the notion that he was betrayed and surprised by Sir Lewis's move to Ferrari. So, there's no disputing that Toto is in cahoots with leading anti-Lewis media. We fully expected the anti-Lewis brigade to have been triggered by Silverstone, and they certainly were. They have made frantic efforts to gaslight his podiums since then, as we have shown in several videos. However, their latest effort to gaslight his victory in Belgium shows a disturbing intensification of their attacks on Sir Lewis. Previously, they were careful to coordinate the spreading of their anti-Lewis propaganda through different platforms, but now that Sir Lewis is surging ahead despite their best efforts to hold him down, Sky UK and Mercedes have openly concentrated their joint attack on one platform, and come out with all guns blazing. As you will see from this video of the Sky Sports F1 homepage, Sky, Toto and Mercedes have combined to not only gaslight Sir Lewis's latest victory at the Belgian GP, but also mock him in the process. Ironically, we will be able to demonstrate the extent of the gaslighting by comparing the Sky Sports F1 UK homepage to that of their Italian counterpart. Of course, it is to be expected that a Ferrari-bound Sir Lewis is enjoying plenty of goodwill from an expectant Italian media, but why is the Briton experiencing ill will from the British media about leaving a German team for an Italian icon? Why is the German team upset that the GOAT they didn't want as an ambassador is going to someone who does? Why is Sky Italy able to promote a British legend that their British counterparts are continuously denigrating? Why is one Britain's deserved disqualification receiving more attention than another Britain's record-extending victory, in the eyes of the Brits, but not in the eyes of the Italians? Well, let us see if those questions can be answered by comparing the homepages of the two Sky channels. Now, we understand that George's disqualification is central to any report of the Belgian GP, because he finished first. But the critical difference between the UK and Italian coverage is the complete lack of any acknowledgement of Sir Lewis's victory in the UK coverage. There is not one single article on the UK homepage dedicated to acknowledging Sir Lewis's victory, commending him on his brilliant drive, or mentioning the numerous records that he extended. Every single title reference to the Belgian GP, on the British page, was about George's disqualification, and Sir Lewis's victory if acknowledged at all, was as an addendum. Unsurprisingly, and as our good friend James Atkins has noted in several of his videos, Martin, like Andrew Gopher Benson, does not miss any opportunity to proclaim Max Verstappen's greatness. So, in their articles covering the Belgian GP, in which Sir Lewis extended some of his world records, Sky were inclined to give the credit to the car, empathize with George, heap praise on Verstappen, and find something complimentary to say about everybody but Sir Lewis. One would think the FIA had changed the rules mid-race to steal an obvious victory from George to gift to Sir Lewis. One would think that Mercedes were so outraged by this injustice that they were appealing the decision all the way to the highest court in the land if need be. One would think that the British Sky was so desperate for a British victory that they couldn't help feeling some type of way about their countryman's loss despite the obvious breach. Perhaps that was why Sky found space and time to cover Sir Lewis's epic Silverstone victory 2 Grand Prix earlier. Do you know who else only found time and space to cover Sir Lewis's epic Silverstone victory in their summer break recap, while dedicating more prominence to George's disqualification? Yes, those of you who are aware that we monitor the Mercedes homepage are right in saying Mercedes. It would appear that for Mercedes as well as Sky UK, Sir Lewis's victory at the Belgian GP left a bitter taste in their mouths. We leave those of you who know how bitter Toto can be to draw on your own recollections. Well, moving swiftly across to the Italian homepage, we find that they have also covered the newsworthy disqualification, but for them, Sir Lewis's victory takes prominence over George's disqualification. So, the Italians show that it is possible to acknowledge Sir Lewis's victory while reporting on the Belgian GP and George's disqualification. We can understand maybe why a Dutch channel would be reluctant to acknowledge Sir Lewis's victory, but we would appreciate your comments on why a British channel would gaslight a British knight's victory. The Italian articles referencing Sir Lewis and his Belgian GP victory appear before those covering George's disqualification. There are also more articles on Sir Lewis's victory than George's disqualification. So why were the Brits unable to acknowledge Sir Lewis's Belgian victory the way that the Italians were able to? Is it to do with Brexit? It was from the Italians that we learnt that Sir Lewis went to the Olympics to support his friend, before any report of George's disqualification. It was from the Italians that we learnt of all the records that Sir Lewis broke or extended at Belgium, before any report of George's disqualification. Critically, for the Italians, George's disqualification was an addendum to Sir Lewis's victory. So why were the Italians more inclined to celebrating with Sir Lewis than commiserating with George? Now, apart from gaslighting Sir Lewis's victory, the Brits also attempted to gaslight George's disqualification by muddying the waters. The steward's ruling makes it clear that it is George's car, weighed with the tyres on, that came in underweight. The ruling recorded that Mercedes accepted the punishment and offered no mitigation. Yet, with another set of clickbait headlines, Sky represented that Mercedes could offer up some mitigation, including George's weight loss during the race. Do you know on which other homepage the fallacious George's weight loss excuse is featured? Yes, the Mercedes homepage, and in particular, the Acadis race debrief, which focused on how the weight that George lost during the race was one of the contributing factors to how his car without him in it came to be underweight. Despite knowing that George's weight had nothing to do with nothing, the Sky articles used clickbait titles to suggest otherwise, while the articles linked to those titles made no attempt to suggest that George's weight had any relevance. The attempt to suggest that it is the combined weight of the driver and the car that is reviewed by the stewards is just outrageous. So, why would Mercedes and Sky go to all the trouble to muddy the waters about the disqualification, if not to take away from Sir Lewis's victory? Well, you know who provided a clear explanation of what happened. Yes, that would be the Italians, who made it clear that Mercedes attempted to con the stewards by leaving some petrol in George's car to boost the weight, instead of draining it of all petrol as required before the weighing. So, Mercedes expected George's car to come in underweight and tried to leave some petrol in it as ballast during the first weighing, but were caught out and made to drain the car of all fuel. You won't find this explanation anywhere on the British Sky homepage. Guess the Italians are more professional or knowledgeable, or something. Well, we move now to the third aspect of the Mercedes Sky tag team. To recall, the first two were the orchestrated gaslighting of Sir Lewis's victory and George's disqualification. But it is the third aspect that cements the coordination between Mercedes and Sky, and the mocking of Sir Lewis. The Sky F1 homepage is understandably leading with an article about the appeal against Christian Horner's sexual harassment verdict being dismissed by Red Bull, as the news of the dismissal just broke at the time we recorded their homepage. But, where the hell does the prominence given to Toto Wolff's mental health struggles come from? How does Toto Wolff's non-specific mental health struggle take prominence over Sir Lewis's record-breaking performance at Belgium? It is rather odd that Toto's alleged mental health struggle is a prominent feature of Sky's coverage during the F1 summer break, just 2 Grand Prix after Sir Lewis mentioned his periods of self-doubt during the barren spell before the Silverstone victory. It is particularly telling that Sky used the image of a smirking Toto as the thumbnail for this clickbait headline purportedly about Toto opening up about his mental health struggles. That is the most outrageous clickbait we have ever come across, and a disgraceful mockery of anyone who has ever struggled with their mental health. Toto had previously spoken about his non-specific mental health struggles before, so how is it news now? We can't even begin to speculate about why Toto and Sky would think this was newsworthy, or why if it was, it would be more prominent than Sir Lewis's Belgian GP victory. But what it does reveal is that the mental health article, the gaslighting of Sir Lewis's victory, and George's disqualification, are all elements of a coordinated campaign by Sky and Toto to diminish Sir Lewis's legacy on any and all levels. The comparison with Sky Italy is so striking as to raise the question why the difference between sections of the same company. Why is Sky Italy celebrating a Britain that their British counterpart is ghosting? Even if Mercedes are feeling some type of way about Sir Lewis going to Italy, what is Sky UK's beef? Even if Sky and Mercedes are feeling some type of way about George's disqualification, what has that to do with Sir Lewis? Unfortunately, if this is what these two have been up to during the summer break, only God knows what they have planned for the resumption of the season. We will continue to pray for Sir Lewis. Forza Ferrari.